campus. It is supported by the Queen because they are British. Everybody talks British, so they're nice. And then, so this one right here on the left is the path that I walked through for the full month that I was there, going through my class every day. And I videotaped some, and I was like breathing because I walked a lot and I lost some weight. But I ate a lot too, but I still lost weight. I don't know why. And so this one right here is in front of the nursing office. And then this one on the top is the building for where the vice chancellor's office is. And around the corner is the nursing office. And this one in the middle, the beautiful building, is actually the building where my class is being held for the full month of June, this past June. And the bottom one, you can't really see it, but it's a purple bed cover. I didn't tell them purple is my favorite. I got there, I go, wow. You went ahead of me and you prepared everything. There's a mosquito net. It was beautiful. I had my own kitchen and everything. So praise the Lord, and He made it really comfortable for me. He really had a great sense of humor. So here comes the storytelling, really, pictures. The bottom one is when I first met my students from the master's program. They already have their bachelor's degree, but they wanted to upgrade their degree so then they can be heard. Having a master's degree has more voice than someone who has a diploma. Unfortunately, that's how our society works. So if you can see any teeth at the bottom because they don't know me yet. For 1 week, I can't understand what they're saying, and they can't understand what I'm saying. After that, then they kind of figured out, and then we had a really bonding time for the last 3 weeks. And the bottom one is on my last day. This is actually, there's a video snippet that I wanted to show where they were singing along with me. And this one, God is so good. He made everything so easy, and just like Kathy was saying, if it's meant for you, it's meant for you, and He just made everything fall into places. I was so scared to go, I didn't even know, like 3 days before I go, I didn't know who's gonna pick me up. And then finally, when I was at the airport, I was ready to pay for my visa, and I was among young Howley girls, I guess in a missionary, so I'm right there in between them. And I said, good, I'm glad, because we arrived there like almost midnight in Entebbe, Uganda. And then finally this lady was holding a paper and said, Dr. Marife, Accident Armstrong, Uganda, goes, oh, that's me. But then she disappeared. So I was like, okay, I got my luggage, I paid my $50 visa. I was going and I couldn't find her. I went outside and all these people, it's so dark, all I can just see are the teeth. Because they're all African American, and it's dark, and then I'm like, okay. And then I went to the bar and I said, oh, I'm here for Uganda Christian University. And this lady named Vanessa, who was the director, and she said, we were looking for you. The lady told me that you were African American and you were wearing pink sweater. And I said, oh, you know what, it's my fault because the pink sweater I have was so hot, and I changed it to my lighter black. But she found me and I found her, and then I got to the university. So in between our semester, I requested for that purple bus to take us to Uganda, to the orphanage. I incorporated the clinical learning experience of my students to look out in the community of where they can do their research and provide for their community, any changes that they could make, anything that they could provide as nurses. I was hoping that they will connect with CDNS to do head-to-toe assessment at least every 6 months. So then Mama Alice, who's in the middle right there, she takes care of our children at the orphanage, and so then she doesn't have to spend money to have someone to get treated. At least my students can go in there and provide it free. So we went on the tour there with a purple bus, and then we took a picture in front of the CDNS Mother's Love Home. So it was 3 hours drive from Kona, where we have our university. And when we got there, we went to visit the children who are still at the orphanage. Some probably are not in school yet or cannot afford. All of the most of the people, members of KCC, sponsors a child. We're now sponsoring 3 children, and then on the middle there on the left are the children that we visited at the time. They sang for us, and I had one luggage dedicated for the gifts from the sponsor parents for the children. They were so happy just to get anything from their sponsor parents. So I took their picture with their gift, so then their sponsor parents could see that I found them and they got their gifts. And we also visited the children at their boarding schools, because during school days, the children are in boarding school, so we visited them. It costs less. It's more costly for them to stay at the school and then stay there, and then during after the school, then they go back to the orphanage. So the bottom one here is my sponsor child, Margaret. So she was at first didn't know how to react because she couldn't believe I was there, and then finally when she realized it's me, then she had this big smile on her face. My students call me mom. For mother, and I call them my babies, being that it's their first semester in the MSN program. And then another blessing before I returned back to Hawaii was the opportunity to visit the Living Hope Clinic in Kampala, where our medical team did a head-to-toe assessment in